For tonight, it's Mamzy.
What's happening, everybody? How you guys doing? Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Mamzy. Yes! Tula. My name is Mamzy. It is a very unfortunate name, especially for my kids, because their daddy is a Mamzy. I'm currently living in Cape Town. I don't know if you guys know, we're actually going through a water crisis in Cape Town. And so I just have to just tell you now in advance, I apologize for my dry sense of humor. Guys, come on, man. Come on, man. I recently just came back. I just came back from a trip in Europe. I was there for 3 weeks. It was really exciting. Anyone been to Europe? I mean, you guys are white. I think you came from there. We got some black people who've been to Europe. I recently just came back from Europe, and I actually went to Europe because I met this beautiful girl at this place called Africa Burn. Has anyone ever heard of Africa Burn? All right, for those of you who don't know, right, Africa Burn, I'd never been to Africa Burn in my entire life, but then this Jewish guy said to me, "Mom's, bro, you gotta go to Africa Burn, it's the fucking shit." And I'm like, okay, but just explain to me what this thing means. So he says to me, no, Africa Burn, bruh, it's one of these things, like, everybody just goes and they set up tents and they create this village in the middle of the desert, okay? And then what they do is, like, they wear outfits and they put on masks, and then they burn these structures so that they leave no trace. So I'm like, okay, hold on. I understand how you're saying it, but I'm black. So you're telling me, one, we're gonna go into the desert and we're going to go camping, okay? Now, the one thing that white people don't understand is that for you guys, camping is like a holiday. For us, camping is proof of residence. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, the second thing he says to me is like, no, there's guys wearing masks and they're burning things. That does not sound fun. I'm black. What am I going to a place where there's people wearing masks and burning things? It doesn't make sense. So now I'm trying to work out if I actually want to go to this Africa Burn place, right? Because it didn't make sense in my head. Because the other thing is that you pay 2,000 Rand a ticket, and you're the person who actually takes the party there. You pay 2,000 Rand, and then you must set up the camp, you must put the entertainment together, you do everything. It's the first time that I realized how smart white people are. You know when you hear like an idea like that, you're like, man, I wish I was white. I really wish I was white. And then you look in your pants, and you're like, no, I know, get sharp. No, and you know what? I would never have gone to Africa Burn. I was never going to go to Africa Burn until I realized that it was a Jewish guy who was telling me about Africa Burn. If it was anyone else, I wouldn't have gone, but it was a Jewish guy who was telling me about Africa Burn. And because it was a Jewish guy telling me about Africa Burn, I was like, I have to go to this party. Any party that convinces Jews to go back to the desert, it's got to be deep. It's got to be deep. And the thing is, like, so I was born in Soweto and I was raised in Sandton, so technically I'm a coconut, right? I don't get offended when people don't no doubt me. No, I'm saying, I don't get offended. For those of you who don't know what a coconut is, it's a derogatory term for someone who's black on the outside and white on the inside. I don't get offended when people call me a coconut, because if it means I can sleep with white women and I still get a B grant. It's like having a black dick and a white salary. I love it. You know what I love most about being a coconut? As a coconut, I can spot another coconut from a mile away. If you're black and you call Woolworths Woolies, If you're black and you go to an ATM and the language you choose to communicate in is English, you're as coconutty as a bottle of Malibu under a palm tree in the fucking Caribbean. That's how coconutty you are. And I'm serious. Like, I am proud to be a coconut. I'm the first entertainer in this country to get on stage and say I'm a coconut and I'm proud. Because honestly, I am. Clap, yeah, no, clap. Might be the only standing ovation I get. Like, you're not even standing. No, seriously, like, I am very proud of the fact that I'm a coconut, right? Why should I be ashamed that my parents gave me a good education? Why should I be ashamed? Because what people don't realize about being a coconut is that we are the torch bearers of Nelson Mandela's idea of the Rainbow Nation. We are the torchbearers. There was a time where white people were hating on black people were hating on white people. There was too much hatred. There wasn't enough love. And one day, when St. Paul didn't want to sleep with Samantha, guess who had to step up to the plate? And I fucked her for my country, guys. I fucked her for my country, okay? No, honestly, I'm being dead serious. As coconuts, we are the torchbearers of Nelson Mandela's idea of the rainbow nation. You know, as a coconut, I get teased all the time. When I'm with black people, I'm a coconut. When I'm with white people, I'm the token black guy. When I'm with colored people, I'm the only one who knows where his blood comes from. It's very difficult. It is a very, very difficult thing. And I want to make sure that all the coconuts come out. I want to make it easy for the coconuts to come out. If it's okay for homosexuals to come out of the closet, don't you think it's about time coconuts fell out the tree? And I'm serious about this. I want to start a political movement to get all the coconuts to come out. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it the People's Institute of Native Africans Combining Origin, Language, and Dialect with Anglo-Saxons. You can call it pina colada. I love being a coconut, man. I do. I genuinely love being a coconut because as a coconut, we change the perception that people have of black people. We change the perception that people have of black people. There's a stigma out there that black people can't swim. I'm gonna tell you all a secret. All coconuts can swim. If you want to test out this theory, go into the fridge, take out a coconut, throw it in the water, it fucking floats, okay? I've got a friend of mine, Rampepe Moholo. Rampepe Moholo swam for South Africa. Do you understand how deep that statement is? A black guy competing with white people in swimming. White people have been swimming since before the days of Jesus. When Jesus turned water into wine, white people were like, shit, man. We can't fucking swim anymore. Black people were like, it's like, get away. Indians are around the corner selling that shit at a discount. Colors are putting it into silver bags, calling it papsak, maybe. It's a crazy world we live in. But I love the fact, I really do. I love the fact that I'm a coconut. I never chose to become a coconut. I didn't wake up one day and say to myself, I want to speak better English than all of you. No. You don't believe me? Say something, nigga. No, I'm serious. I didn't wake up one day. No, honestly, I never chose to become a coconut. Both of my parents were teachers, and they wanted us to get the best education possible, right? They took us to a private school in Sandton called Red Hill, and at the time that I went to Red Hill, it was 90% white, 10% black, which was okay with me because, you know, we get to sleep with the white girls, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm honest. Like, if you're black and you go to a predominantly white school, at some point in your black career, a white girl's gonna come up to you and she's gonna be like, is it true what they say? I was like, fuck me and find out. Those are good times there. At the age of 13, I was head boy of Red Hill Primary School, and after my induction speech, all my white friends, they came up to me and they were like, oh my God, Mums, your English, it's so good. How did you get it that way? I'm like, motherfucker, we've had the same English teacher for the last 10 years. How else am I supposed to speak? It's ridiculous. And during the day, like, no, honestly, it's crazy. And during the day, I work in media during the day, so I have to speak to people over the phone a lot. So when I speak to people over the phone, they have no idea that I'm black. Because when I talk to them, I'm like, hi, listen, I'd like to come to some kind of arrangement as what it is we're going to do during the campaign. I understand that you guys have sorted out everything for the above the line, but I want to make sure that the 2 million impressions you've booked is going to give you the kind of return on investment you need and deserve. They hear me on the other side of the phone, they're like, wow, what a polite little white boy. But then they meet me in person. I'm like, hi, I'm the guy you're speaking to over the phone. They're like, really? And I'm like, what? Were you expecting something different? They're like, no. Just thought you'd be a little taller. It's messed up, man. Black people, we've had it rough for a very long time. Remember back in the days when all white people thought all black people looked the same? And then one day I looked at myself in the mirror, and then I looked at a picture of Julius Malema. I'm like, no, they're lying. But now we're at a point where a lot of white people think that black people speak black, like black is a language. Like I could go to Nigeria and be like, hey, blackie, oh, blackie, oh, blackie, oh, blackie, man, black, hey, blackie, black. Black is not a language. The other day I was watching Blood Diamond with some white friends of mine. The whole movie's got subtitles, except for this one scene where the guy's on his phone and he's like, Gwembe don jongo. And my white friends are like, what did he say? I'm like, Gwembe don jongo, motherfucker. What you heard? It's what I heard as well. We had the same thing. It's crazy, man. So anyway, this Jewish friend of mine convinces me to go to Africa Burn. And I go to Africa Burn, right? The first time I went to Africa Burn was like 6 years ago, and I get to Africa Burn. And I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was going on. But it was a very weird experience for me because we get there, and then as we get to the camp, we haven't set up camp. The car just comes into the actual venue itself. Now we got to find where we're going to camp, and then we have to set up tent. Now, as we're walking to find the place, this Afrikaans guy just shouts, hey, come here. Now, guys, when you're black and you're in the Western Cape, them be fighting words, you know what I mean? Like, it's scary, you know? You don't want to take the chance. So I'm like, hey, guys, maybe we shouldn't go there. So anyway, my friends are like, no, let's go. So we get there. These guys turn out to be really friendly, and they're offering us some drinks. And there was this British guy, he's there, and he's like, hey, would you like a line of cocaine? And I'm like, yeah, just a little one. And then his girlfriend is there, she's making cocktails. We're listening to the stupidest music I've ever heard in my entire life, but it didn't matter because these guys are friendly. Then the Afrikaans guy comes up to me and he's like, have you guys set up your tent? And I'm like, no, we haven't set up our tent. He's like, I'll set it up for you. Now, at the time that I went to Africa Burn at that time, I was dating a German woman, right? So on my left hand, I've got this German woman right here. There's an Afrikaans guy who's setting up my tent. There's a British woman making cocktails, and then there's another dude, an English dude over here who's just giving us drugs. And I'm standing here and I'm just looking around and I'm like, this is what Nelson Mandela fought for. This is what he fought for. So you can't hate me for being a coconut. You can't hate me for being a coconut. And as a coconut, obviously, your natural progression, if you come from Joburg, is to move to Cape Town. I moved to Cape Town. Cape Town's a very scary place for a coconut. It's great because, there's a lot of white women. But the crazy thing is that, it's a very different environment. It was the first time, when I went to Cape Town, it was actually the first time that I ever heard someone say the phrase, awe, awe. It was the first time. And let me tell you this story, right? Now, the crazy thing about Soweto is that we heard a lot of scary stories about the Cape Flats. So white people, you can understand the levels of fear we're talking about here, right? I found myself in the Cape Flats, and I'm walking around. I'm trying to mind my own business. I don't want anyone to bother me. I don't want to get involved in conversations. To be honest, I just don't want to get stabbed, right? And I'm walking around, and then this guy looks at me, and he's like, aware? And I'm like, yes, I am aware of the way you're looking at my phone, my wallet, my shoes. I'm very much that. But Cape Town was an exciting place. Like, Cape Town was pretty cool. Like, a lot of the good things that happened to me in Cape Town happened in Cape Town. I got 2 Emmy nominations, 4 SAFTA awards. I was the first comedian to make the semifinals of SA's Got Talent. That all happened. That all happened in Cape Town. And it's weird because even with all those accolades, the biggest achievement, no, go do what you're going to do. I'm only filming a special. Don't worry. No, don't worry. I'm just filming a special. When you finish taking a cuck, please wash your hands. I think that's just a courtesy to the rest of us, Yeah, man, Cape Town is very interesting. Even with all those accolades, the biggest accolade that I actually got when I was in Cape Town was emceeing Rockin' the Daisies. Now, Rockin' the Daisies is live entertainment to 25,000 people. 25,000 people. I almost lost my mind. And the crazy thing about Rockin' the Daisies is that as the MC, right, I was the MC on the first day. So you got to get everybody's attention because, some people are discussing their weaves and other people are talking about how they're never going to give back the land. You know what I mean? Like, people are just, they're having conversations, And you got to get their attention, right? So I think to myself, sometimes it's difficult to get people's attention, but the one thing that unifies people is music, right? So I thought, okay, cool, I can freestyle. I'm going to freestyle rap, and then after I freestyle, I'm going to introduce the act. But the thing with Rockin' the Daisies is so popular that as the MC, before you bring on any act, you have to read a sponsor mention, okay? So here I am, I get on stage, and I'm like, okay, cool, let me just freestyle. So I'm like, I spit these words, and their sweat spits at me. Being fluid is the key to reaching ultimacy. I don't see tracks. Hard words are just relying on me to represent with the force of WMDs. Everybody always wants to make the ultimate track to say that they were champions of metaphysical tact. Hard words and hard beats is how I keep it intact. I sold my soul when I made this. Lord knows where it's at. I saw my future self at age 10, writing these rhymes, and I could see into the future. Like every time I spat on the mic, it introduced me to you as I experienced rocking the daisies with you. And everybody's like, yeah! And I'm like, are you guys ready for a good night? They're like, yeah! Can I introduce your first act? They're like, yeah! Hollard Insurance is going to make sure that you guys have the greatest time here at Rockin' the Daisies. So please make sure that you go to... That's a mood killer. It's a mood killer, man. And you know what? The worst thing about coming back from a music festival is that when you come back from a music festival, the only thing you can think about is music, right? I get home, and now I'm flipping through the channels. I'm high, I'm drunk, I've had a good party, and I'm flipping through the channels, and I want to watch something funny, so I'm watching the Parliament channel. And you know when you watch the Parliament channel, some people are wearing headphones for translations. I was like, no, these guys are listening to music, right? Because at the time that I was watching the TV, it was the time during the Nkandla debacle. You remember the Nkandla debacle? And I remember I was looking at Tulima Donsela, and she had headphones in. And I saw Tulima Donsela, and I knew she was listening to, "Bitch, better have my money, 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 money." Then I looked at Jacob Zuma. Jacob Zuma was looking at Julius Malema, and I know he was listening to, "We will never, get back together. We will never, get back together." And then I looked at Julius Malema. Julius Malema was looking at everybody in Parliament, and I know he was listening to, "Started from the bottom, now we're here." Started from the...